Recently, Karen Lugo, founder of the Libertas West Coast Project and co-director of the Center for Constitutional Jurisprudence, introduced writer Andrew C. McCarthy, senior fellow at the National Review. He spoke at the Norman P. Murray Community Center in Mission Viejo. His topic, the threat of Sharia law in our communities. And later, Mr. McCarthy was kind enough to summarize his lecture for our camera.
Okay, well, I think the main thing that we want to do is figure out who it is are the radicals and who are the moderates. And if you make your barometer for that terrorism, then you're going to miss an awful lot of people who are not moderate. If somebody says that they want to turn America into a Sharia society, but they're willing to do that by nonviolent means, I'm very grateful that they're nonviolent, but that's not a moderate position. That's a very radical position, particularly when you look at core portions of Sharia, which run very counter to basic premises of Western liberalism, starting with the very idea that people have a right to make law for themselves irrespective of any religious code. That's the basic premise of our society, and it's something that Sharia rejects. So I think that what we want to identify are who are the good patriotic Muslims, of which there are an enormous number in our country, who regard Sharia at best as something that is a private, spiritual compass for how they live their lives, versus the Muslims who believe that Sharia is something that needs to be imposed on a society because it is Islam's political and legal system, and its ambitions are to control every aspect of life. If that's what your position is, you're not a moderate. And I think by having that discussion and forcing people who want to see more Sharia in the United States defend what Sharia is, defend the inequality between Muslims and non-Muslims, defend the inequality between men and women, defend the depriving people of freedom of conscience, such that, for example, apostates, people who renounce Islam, are subject to capital punishment, in fact, in Sharia systems. I think if you make people defend those premises and say that we would like to have those as our law rather than American law, then those people will be marginalized in our society as they should be, and that would I think also help empower the real, authentic, moderate Muslims who are fighting against this fundamentalism and don't want to see it imposed in the United States. And it's in our interest in a great way, I think, that those people win. And whether they can win or not, we have to defend our country regardless. So it's important that we figure out who the real friends of America are, who the real radicals are, and who the authentic moderates are, rather than the guys who've been pretending to be moderates all this time.
In Mission Viejo, for a Runnabout Orange County News, I'm Gustavo Carrillo.